Golf. Darin Dance joins me now. Darin, how are we feeling?
I'm feeling a bit nervous because I'm talking to Dom. How you doing, Dom?
I'm good, mate. I'm good, and I'm excited and somewhat nervous as well because I've been here at this conference this week, pushing myself out of my comfort zone a little bit. And I think when you are writing a book like this, you're really putting something out. It is your baby in some ways. And so, how are you feeling right now as this thing comes out? Obviously, an exciting time and a really interesting sort of topic to be exploring. In some ways, getting men to kind of open up and talk. So, how are you feeling? And tell us about the I guess, how the book idea came to you.
Well, thanks very much, Dom. Yeah, I'm excited and nervous, and they sort of that the anxiety thing can come in quite easily. So they're sort of two sides of the same coin. So you've got to be careful how you go to manage your mental health. But yeah, no, I'm really excited about getting this story out into the world. It's a story of a young Maori boy who comes back from the war with a crippling injury, and it's his story, and he gets depressed, and he's trying to get back on his feet again, and you sort of do. You can only really do that in the world with help from your whānau and friends. So that's essentially the story in a nutshell. But it explores a lot of themes of things like PTSD and depression. Yeah. So it parallels a few of things that I've sort of overcome in my life over the years as well. So
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, normally there's always a seed to an idea like this when you're writing a book, and so I'm imagining that there's got to be a story around why you wanted to tell this, and also how you hope that it will help people. Because I think telling stories and getting people having conversations like this is such an important way to kind of help move us all through this. So, was there something in your life or something that you can share that kind of was the motivation for putting this, piece of art into the world?
yeah, look, I've struggled with my mental health over the years from a few different incidents. One of which I got run over by a 3-ton forklift in the 90s, and it crushed my leg. So, and I was told I wouldn't walk again. So there's sort of parallels with Tom, the main character there. But you're sort of managing that mental health about your whole life and career crashing down around you, and coming back. And back in the 90s in New Zealand, you're talking about, your best mental health was going down the pub and having a beer over a jug. And But men don't talk in New Zealand, so you don't really get to know what's going on. And I think that that's part of the story, is that if I didn't have some good friends and supportive whānau around me, there's I could easily have taken a very different path, and I see that with a lot of other friends and acquaintances in life, and being there for someone is really important.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, you talk about, Kiwi men. You talk about Kiwi men sometimes not being able to talk and communicate. And I'm sure that, when you write a book, you have to do a lot of research and you develop that character. So, just from your take, why do you think that is? Why do you think it is something that, traditionally has been quite hard for us to do?
I think it all comes back to New Zealand's history. There's so much of New Zealand's history has been suppressed and squashed, and we haven't been allowed to talk about things. I grew up in a very conservative New Zealand society, and you know things are starting to change. But my goodness, it's a hard effort. I'm just amazed how far we've come in this country, getting like Te Reo being spoken so much more freely now. You couldn't learn it when I was at school. And my parents' generation and grandparents, it was beaten out of them. So things like that, things were just always closed down, and we were given one narrative. And I think that that's a really unhelpful thing, was when you start embracing different cultures, all of a sudden your world opens up and things are a lot brighter, and it's more colourful. You're not this conservative black and white thinking any longer. And I think that's something that's evolving in this country, and we've we've got to be careful that we don't close that down again.
Well, yeah, I certainly can totally agree with that sentiment. I think that we are now in a really great place of having conversations and being open more than ever to support each other, I guess, more than anything. You know, as you write a book like this, I'm imagining you personally, you're putting yourself out there, as I said earlier, and I think, you know, whenever you're in a creative field, sometimes you can get up in your head a bit too much and overthink it. So I'm intrigued, you know, what are the things that being able to talk about this maybe has exposed you to that help you, that support you when you're in that headspace? You know, what are the things that you can share that maybe, you know, we could all try?
Look, there's mental health is and keeping vibrant, keeping positive is so important. Um, and I've evolved my different practices over the years. One of the key ones is meditation. You know, it's so key just taking, and you don't have to sit there like a monk on cross-legged for hours at a time. Just take 5-10 minutes out in the morning and again at night, and you know, or when you get the opportunity. It's incredible that just that small amount of time can make such a difference in clearing the head and getting real with yourself. And often I get a few different inspirational ideas for putting in the book while I'm doing it, which is sort of like not the whole idea, but hey, you know, it helps. But I think the other thing is getting out in nature, getting out in the sun, you know, and just and getting some exercise. It's one of those things where getting the body moving is so good for you in so many different ways.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the science is so, you know, well documented as far as, you know, getting creativity from quietening the mind and down to nature, man. Music to my ears. I love the idea of using our beautiful backyard as an antidote to maybe the way that we're living right now. I think this is an amazing book that you've put out. Whiskey Lima Golf is the name, and you know, what do you hope people take away from this, Darin? Obviously, you know, a real journey for you. So, you know, you must be excited, as you said, and a little nervous. So, you know, what do you hope people take from it?
I'm hoping that people will have a bit of fun. They'll see some of themselves and some of the characters that are there, and it might just open their eyes to a little bit of what's could be going on around them. Because you know, we live in this world where we get so insular and everything's about us, and you know, our latest social media post or something like that, and it's like there's amazing things going on all around you, and you can, if you just lift your head up out of your phone and have a look around, it's a wonderful world out there.
Sure is, brother, and thank you so much for, you know, giving up some of your Saturday as well. The book is called Whiskey Lima Golf. Darin Dance is the name of the author, and he joins me this morning, and we really appreciate it, man. I think more than anything, getting people reading. I love being able to pick up a good book, so we're doing that with this one, man, and thank.
Yeah, thanks so much, Dom. And yep, you can get it from my
We
website.
are going to
Or
head to a break, and
oh, you there?
I think we've got a bit of a delay there, Darin. So, yeah, head to Darin Dance's website. The book is called Whiskey Lima Golf. We're going to head to a break, and when we return, we're going to be talking biohacking and maybe posing the question, how old do you want to live to Jason Gunn? That's one of the questions a lot of people are asking here.